with a review and also movie synopsis. I love Christmas time because Hallmark puts out all of these wonderful, cheesy, over-the-top Christmas love stories that I can't get enough of. I decided to watch them and rate it as far as 1 to 10, 10 being really awesome, 1 being like, you extended my disbelief a little too far. This is completely unbelievable. So today I'm going to be talking about Frozen in Love. It is a 2018 Hallmark original, and it is directed by Scott Smith, and it's starring Rachel Lee Cook, remember from the 90s? And also Niall, which is a really cool name. Quick side note, I'm wearing my Slytherin shirt. I mean, because that's kind of Christmassy, right? I'm not really Slytherin, I'm a Ravenclaw, but you know what I mean. Within 3 minutes, you get all kinds of exposition. Rachel Lee Cook's character is named Mary, and her brother Tyler co-own and run a bookstore called On the Same Page. And you find out that they're not doing so well, and nobody's in this bookstore buying books, and meanwhile, we get to meet Adam. He is a hockey player of the Denver Royals. I don't know if that's a real team. All I know is the Blackhawks and the Gulls. His name is Adam Claiborne, and you learn right away he's a bad boy. He does stuff that's extra bad for a hockey player. He's getting told by his ex-girlfriend, who is also the manager of the team, that, hey, because of your behavior, you're gonna have to be on suspension, okay? And you need to turn this around real quick. You need to see a PR lady. Here's her card. You gotta change your image, because right now, if this keeps going, you're gonna get fired. And we've learned that he already's been fired from a couple other teams due to his behavior. So he decides to go to a bookstore, and what do you know? It's the one that Mary works at. I'd like some coffee. And then she's like, we're a bookstore, we don't serve coffee? He's like, well, you should. And then she's like, this guy is ridiculous. Anyways, so that's when they first meet. They're meet cute, right? Okay, so now Mary's like, man, we need to make some money real quick. And so she goes to her best friend, PR lady, I totally forgot her name. And she had already had Adam come into her office. She decides, you know what? I have an idea. Why don't I put you with this other client, and you guys can combine your forces and benefit each other. At first they see who each other are, and they're like, oh my gosh, I remember you. You're the guy who wanted the coffee. I don't like you. And he's like, oh my gosh, you're the lady that doesn't sell coffee. I don't like you either. And then the PR lady's like, look, you guys, this is your last chance for both of you. And they're like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Then what happens next is they sponsor a junior hockey team. He gets to teach the kids some stuff, and she's telling him, hey, you're an example to these kids. Be careful what you say, and say something positive about, you know, good sportsmanship. He's like, all right, and then he does. She doesn't know anything about hockey, so what does she do? She reads some books on it, and they have their first game with their junior league, and she and Hockey Man are getting along, and then they full on have a fight, and of course it's a little town or whatever, so the little town news is all like, oh my gosh, they had a fight, this is bad. So that makes front page news, you guys. So then the PR lady is like, look, we gotta have some rules with you guys working with each other, because you keep putting bad press, and that's the opposite of what I'm trying to do for you guys. They're like, okay, fine. And then they do another event where she donates some of her books to a library, and then they're like getting to know each other. Okay, so they have book circles at their bookstore. One of them, I think it was the brother, had an idea like, hey, why don't you start a podcast? And she's like really afraid of public speaking, and he's like, okay, I'll do it. She gets more comfortable once Adam joins the circle and then joins the podcast, and they go back and forth, and everybody just listens and not participating, but the people actually really enjoyed it. So then her brother Tyler, who is totally into hockey and stuff, is like, hey, that was a great podcast. People are gonna love this. Hey, why don't you come to dinner? We have dinner with my family once a week. What's her face? Mary is all like, don't invite this guy. And then he's like, well, if it's not a problem. And he's like, no, it's not a problem. BFF, my new BFF, let's go. He gets to sit down and talk to her parents and stuff like that. And he's like, this is nice. And then you find out, oh my gosh, guess what, you guys? His parents are dead because he's a foster kid or something like that. I noticed, side note, a lot of times in these types of movies, parents are dead or they don't have extended family. It's just like them and that's it. And it's like, wow. So then later on, the PR lady is all like talking to them separately, like, ooh, you love her. And then to the other person, ooh, you love him. And they're like, no, I don't. Stop it. But you know they do. The podcast was really successful, and the PR lady's like, hey, do another public event. People are getting more aware of your business and that the hockey guy is actually a good guy. So she does a box race thing, and because he really likes Huckleberry Finn, they make their raft and they enter the race. And there's this kid that you see a lot, I think his name is like Lucas or something, but like he's the only child in the entire team that ever talks to either of these adults. Now he has like a mom and stuff, but like she thinks hockey is dumb. I don't know, they like get an attachment to this kid or whatever, and he like joins them on their like sled ride, and she has a good time. She lets loose and has fun. Afterwards, she's like talking to like Adam and have a heart to heart, and like she's saying, you know what? Have you ever had a book? They're talking about relationships, what they want in the future and so on. She's like, have you ever read a book that you never wanted to end? That's what I want in a person. And he's like, maybe you haven't found the right book yet. And it's like, oh, that's cute. Something happens where she like decides to tell her parents, like, hey, parents at their weekly dinner, hey parents, Tyler and I have something to tell you. If we don't do something drastic, I'm gonna have to close the store. And she said to like, oh, the PR lady said to have this big event, this live podcast, and make it a big deal and have a lot of people come. We need a big jump in sales for us to stay afloat. And the family's like, you know what? Because they're retired, they passed on the business to them. And he's like, you know what, it's cool. As long as you got family, that's all you need. And she's like, okay. Adam decides to ask Mary on a date, and then of course he can't go on the date because he has an important meeting with his boss, Erica, his ex-girlfriend, who's like totally not into him at all. My dad, who owns the team, is interested in keeping you because originally we were gonna get rid of you, but you have to come to this really big event. I don't get what it is, but I was like, did I miss something? I don't know. It's some kind of big hockey event and you need to come. And he's like, what? And then he calls to let Mary know that he can't make the date and that he's sorry. So then he wants to tell her that part in person. And he goes to the bookstore and her dad is there. And he's like, hey, is Mary here? And he's like, no, but you know what? You're an awesome man. And I think you're wonderful. And I was like, thank you, mister. So finally he meets up with Mary and he's like, I don't know what to do because this event is really big and I've been preparing for it as well. And I really want to be there, but I'm supposed to be at this hockey event, and if I don't go, then I can't play anymore. I don't know, for reasons. And then like, she's like, you know what? You need to go to that hockey meeting celebration thing. That's important. Because you know what? Yeah, this thing's important, and yeah, it's gonna be sad you're not here, but you know what? I got things covered, bro. Hello, you're a professional hockey man. Make that money. Go for that dream. You said hockey make you happy. Go make it happen, man. He's like, all right. She says this line that goes, being a good team player means letting the other guy take the shot. One shot. Oh, and then we got one shot, another in a massive bowl. I feel like there's an Eminem song, but I don't know the words. My mom loves Eminem, by the way. So it's time for the book event and the live podcast. And it is a success! Everybody's there and everybody's buying stuff and everybody's like, woohoo! And then PR lady friend was like, hey, Adam couldn't be here, but he wanted me to give you this. And on it says the name of her bookstore and 40-year anniversary. And she's like, he talked to people and is like making sure that you guys are the official sponsors and your name is going to be all over the place. And he made a bunch of these to give to, fans on this one special hockey giveaway day. Meanwhile, at the hockey event, so he's asked to make a speech for some reason. And so he's like, yeah, you know what? Being a team player, yeah. And everybody's like, yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry, I was such a jerk, yeah. Amends are made. Meanwhile, she's like doing the podcast and she's afraid of public speaking, but she's finally doing it. And she's like, it's time to make my own future. Welcome to the event, thank you for coming. And then Adam is like, end of his speech, she's like, I gotta go. And then so Erica chases him down and is like, wait, if you go, my dad might fire you still. Why? I don't know, reasons. He's like, look, this really matters to me and I'm making a difference in people's lives and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'll talk to my dad. and then it'll be cool. He's like, all right. Besides, you were right the whole time. She's like, thank you, I know I was. And then so like he goes, and then of course the perfect timing, I don't know where the hockey rink is in relation to the bookstore, but I guess it's close because as she's giving the speech, right, like, hey, we're gonna start talking about Huckleberry Finn. And then of course he pops up behind her and he's all like, hey, I'm here, let's podcast it up. I thought this was kind of funny because then she's all like, I love Tom Sawyer book, and he's like, I love that book too. And I'm like, can you just say I love you or something? Like, I get what you're trying to do. I don't know. I think that kind of stuff only works with Han Solo. But anyway, so like they're like, kiss! And everybody's applauding, and then it ends. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was cool to see Rachel Lee Cook again, because she was big in the 90s, so it was kind of nostalgic. She looks the same. Good on her, man. I would say it was fun. It was lighthearted. I liked the fact that she was all like, I'm taking charge of my life, everybody. And that was really awesome. And him as well. He's like, I don't need PR to tell me what to do all the time. I'm gonna do this because I want to. So both of them had character growth, which I liked. It was over the top cheese. I'm gonna give it like an 8. That was a fun one. I really enjoyed that. So anyways, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video, and there will be definitely more Hallmark movie reviews and synopsi? I don't know what the plural of that is, but there'll be more in the future. So thanks for watching and happy holidays. Bye!
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.